Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Inquiring Minds. I'm Hialeah Comic Bro, and as always, I'm accompanied by this good-looking guy over here, Conquistadorks Javi. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Happy to be here, man. Sorry I missed last week, but I'm here.
Dude, I'm glad to have you back. I had a great show last week, man, but you were missed. It wasn't the same.
I did see 84's comment right at the beginning. It kind of did humble me when he was like, "Oh no, Javi,
Yeah,
I'm not sticking around for the show."
our guest actually had one. I don't know if you saw the ending, but he showed some books that he wanted to show you. Some books that he got in San Juan, Comic Book 62.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude, that he wanted to share with you and stuff.
You guys went.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you guys did a long show that last Wednesday.
Dude, we could have just kept on talking, man. It was crazy. It was, the guy was super cool. First time hanging out with him, and hope to do more stuff with him, man, because the guy's knowledge, he's a lot like Metarog, like Roger.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Let me shout out the chat. Unruly, thank you for stopping by. I know you got to hit it. Gomez, Broski, what's going on? Sharon, love the new hairdo, man. It looks great. It looks great. And you did awesome last night. With Rod the Rican. Mike, what is up?
What's up, poor Mike?
Don Dizzle, what is going on? What's going on? Captain, you scared me with those with that getup. That was scary, guy. What's up, Kenny? Beta Ray Jim, what's going on? NWO. Okay, without further ado, let's bring in our guest. We have Satan on the show for the first time ever. We have Satan on the show tonight, guys. I'm very excited. But look at this handsome devil. I was just kidding. Look at this handsome devil.
Yeah.
It's Bill Miller.
Raul, Javi, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Good to see you guys.
What's going on, man?
And you're right on both accounts, handsome and a devil. Can't argue with either one of those.
Bro, I saw that today. You want to say a little? You want to say a little bit about the video that you dropped today? It was or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday. So on the Gray Man's channel, he's been doing a video per day for the month of October, where he reads a scary story. And in some cases, he's reached out to other members of the YouTube community to have them read certain parts. And he had me read the part of Satan for one of the stories, and then asked me if I would put it on my channel as well to kind of bring some notoriety to the series and drive some more people to his channel so they can view some of the other stories that he's done. They're really fun. He puts in sound effects, a lot of work, does all the editing. He said I was born for the part. I don't know what that meant, but it was fun to do.
It was excellent, man. I highly suggest everybody to go watch it. I think I've seen most of those that he's been putting out. That one was good, and the story was excellent, man. It had the twist.
Yeah, it was. He digs those up, I think, mainly from DC horror.
Okay.
Postcode books, but he's been soliciting different horror stories from different people. So I think he's open just about anything. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of work on his part, but I think fun for everyone that's been working with him.
I gotta imagine. Give me Big Remo. Yes, he is Big Remo. He is in the Bay Area.
I'm traveling back and forth.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see that you answered him, man. I didn't see that.
It's okay.
How did that come together, though? How do you do the voice? How does that get to him? I don't know how does that go about?
So I think initially, he started doing these and releasing them, and then he has a daily blog that I'll tune into if I'm able to make it. I have to work, so everything's within reason as far as whether or not I'm able to make things that are live. But he said, hey, you know, there are some opportunities for some of the YouTube community members to kind of work with us, work with him and his girlfriend to do voices. And then he kind of nominated me. Told me that I would be doing the Satan role for one of the stories. So I'm like, yeah, I'm game for that. And then, so he hit me up on Instagram and asked me for my email, gave it to him. And he said, and he sent me the script, essentially. Said, here are your lines for the story. I didn't know what story it was, what any of the other speaking parts were. And so I recorded that. I think I threw it into an MP4 file, and told him that I could put it in a wave or something else if he needed it, and emailed it to him, and he said that works. And then he just edited it all together on his side. So yeah, he did the lion's share of the work. That's for sure.
Wow. You did awesome. That, I'm telling you, it was really good. I was riveted.
I appreciate that. Yeah, he said just use my natural voice, which is another indicator that he may suspect that there's something more to me that dwells from down under. I don't know.
There is something that dwells. Another video that I caught was it was hilarious. You have a dry wit, dude. You're funny as hell. I don't know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't know if it's intentional, but it's funny as hell. It was the 84 unboxing.
Oh yeah, that was definitely intentional. So he's in the chat. Big shout out to Kenny. So he's just, if I can get on my soapbox for a minute, I think I'm preaching to the choir when I say that he's just an outstanding member of the community. Just a good all around guy. And he sent me an AOK. Mm-hmm. And he hit me up and told me on Instagram that he was doing so. And so I said, hey, you know, would it be okay if I had some fun with this? And he said, yeah. So I figured it'd be fun to just write a little pseudo note as if it were the note that he included with the AOK. And people seemed to get a kick out of it. And it was really awesome on his part. I'm very thankful for that. And he was a really good sport about it too, as were, to my knowledge anyways, the other people that I kind of included in the little prank AOK letter.
Dude, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Where did you get that entrance? And I'm almost scared to ask, this good looking, I've watched a ton of them, and you always come up with something so witty.
I appreciate you realizing I'm good looking. Yeah. A lot of people that goes right over their head, but you clearly have taste, and I can appreciate that role. But I don't know. I think that just evolved kind of over time. I mean, I've been doing this for a little while. When I originally came up with the concept, all I was going to do was comic book reviews.
Okay.
That was the whole thing. And my first video was actually in January of 2018. Mm-hmm. But then I didn't do anything for like a year. A friend at work just said, hey, you know what? Because everyone knows I'm into comic books. It's not a secret with me. If they got a problem with it, that's their problem, kind of thing. So he said, you really ought to make some videos on YouTube about, you know, comic books, since that's something you're passionate about. And I had never really thought about it. I never really been on YouTube other than to, you know, I need to look up how to rinse out a hot water heater or something, or I jump on there to see if somebody has a 45 of a obscure doo-wop regional song or something like that to listen to. Other than that, I never really gave YouTube a whole lot of thought. And so I said, and he just kept not necessarily pestering me, but kept reminding me about it. So I said, yeah, you know what, I'll do it. What the hell? So I did, and it was just so much damn work. I'm like, man, I had to read this comic like 6 or 7 times, and because I'm very exact about the way I want things done in many cases, almost OCD to a certain extent. And so I had to write a summary, and I had to make sure that I gave enough information about the comic without giving away any spoilers. And I had like pages where I was just reading off of, but I didn't necessarily want to read it either. So there was some memorization going on, and I'm like, oh, excuse me. I was like, the heck with that. That's just too much work. I don't want to do that anymore, you know? And so I did that, and he kept reminding me over the course of a year, hey, you know, are you going to do anything else? And I just didn't, and I never like got on to YouTube. I never realized there was like a comic book community. I just put it out there and said, all right, now I'm waiting for the praise to roll in. And it never did, right? So I expected a contract, something to hit me up right after I released that video. Nothing happened, so I just kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, you broke up. You got stuck.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God! Come on, I want to finish the story.
Yeah, I think that video that he's talking about was when he did the Elsewhere review.
Oh yes, that was his first video, Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Mag, if you could see it, you got froze up. I don't know if you want to come out and come back in.
You'll probably come back in a few.
Yeah, probably come in. But let me shout out everybody else, man. Dude, we got a ton of people. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. I think we got Big Remo, Magic Lasso. How you doing? NYC. What's going on, guys? Poor
Donnie,
Donnie.
J Hood Native. What's going on, J Hood? He's in here finishing up a
got this crazy guy here, George Hernandez. What's up, cuz? What's up, cuz? We got Donnie, Comic Head. Yeah, Kenny's awesome, dude. V, what's going on?
What's going on, Varangian?
And there he is, G-Ray. G-Ray, we were just talking about your video, man. It was the one with that Bill did with the Satan. That was great. All of them have been great, man. But that one I particularly like, man. The art was really, really well done. Really liked it a lot. Yeah, that's how Donnie does it. That's how he does his graphic novels. He tries to do the review without giving away.
You don't want to give everything away, you know, but it's hard.
It's hard. Remember when we did the Once in Future? We kind of gave everything away, but
yeah.
but it's hard. It's hard not to, man. Have you been doing any? Have you been visiting any shops?
I actually went to the shop today. I'll tell you the story that they have all their books up on the walls and everything like that, just loose. And I was just looking through the store section, right? And that's for the new run, the Donny Cates run that just came out.
Right.
And because you know how comic book shops will do it, they'll put the new number in the front, and then all the other old numbers in the back,
right? Kind
of just like stacked like that. So I was looking through it, and I saw that there was a number 1 in there, but it was a number 1 for the Thor God of Thunder run.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so maybe they just have this up here because they're trying to connect the two series together, or maybe somebody got confused, whatever. I picked it up. I was going to go pay for it. When I took it to the register, and we always have these shops, right, that are like, oh, this was on the wall?
Was it bagged and boarded?
It wasn't bagged and boarded. No, it was just loose like a floppy. And I was just like, dude, if you're going to charge me more than the cover price, I don't want it. Put it to the side. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I can charge you $3.99 for this, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, whatever, dude, go mark it up and see if you can sell it for a higher price. I doubt it's probably going to sell.
Dude, I want to know what he put it at. I wonder what he put it at. All right, guys, we got Bill back. What's up, Southern Comic Geek?
Hey, Southern Comic Geek.
I beg to hell and back, fellas.
Hell was
sorry. Sorry about that.
It happens, man. It's all good.
Yeah,
pretty good internet connection, but that's when you knock on wood, and I forgot to do that. So I think we're good. Just rebooted the router. so we should be good now.
No problem. You were
and
saying.
So, anyways, if there's anything that you ever remember that I've ever told you, it would be that right there. Next question.
Oh my God! I had it all. I had it all in my head. You mentioned
the comic book reviews.
mentioned doo-wop music.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where did that come from? Is that a passion of yours, or?
Oh yeah. So I'm not sure. I like all music, right? So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can tell when you come hang out on the start.
Yeah, with the exception of the crappy music. That's usually on from the later decades.
Yeah.
On the Start 'em Up show, but yeah. So my mom would have me listen to like one of the 50s radio stations when I was younger. So I kind of grew up with a lot of that. Plus, I have older siblings, so I listen to stuff from the 70s, 80s. But doo-wop, especially at work, when I would need something in an office environment that was kind of low key, work appropriate. I just kind of gravitated towards that and read books on it. Just became interested in doo-wop, and so yeah, that was great. So I'll listen to that if I want to chill out. Other than that, I can listen to a little bit of everything. Some country. I'm not so much for rap. Doesn't really speak to me. But at the gymnasium, it's heavy like metalcore, As I Lay Dying, Devil Wears Prada, things like that. Something that gets you kind of pumped up, so you can get out that last rep kind of thing. But it's all context, right? Wherever you're at, what type of music you need, what mood you're in, something like that.
Is that your driving music, the doo-wop?
I'll usually listen to like talk radio if I'm driving, or sometimes it is, but sometimes it's heavier stuff. Sometimes it's alternative, 21 Pilots, that type of thing. It just depends. I like a lot, so I don't necessarily say it has to be from this genre. It's either good to me or it's not good to me, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and that's the criteria.
It was just funny because not too many people mentioned doo-wop. So it kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, really, really smart people are into it, and so you probably don't hear a lot of people talking about it.
Are you talking about who? What was the man? I can't remember their name. What was the group that it was the sisters? And it was like,
well,
it was during the war.
The Andrews sisters.
The Andrews sisters. That's what I could.
Yeah, they're kind of They kind of bridged the gap between big band music and then ushering in doo-wop. Same with the Mills Brothers, the Ink Spots. They were kind of the precursors to doo-wop, where they didn't necessarily have an orchestra backing them. And so that's where the whole concept came from. They're like, well, we'll just make the instrument noises with our mouths, with our voices.
So who's like your top doo-wop band or group?
I don't. It's tough. I don't know. I like the Falcons when they had Wilson Pickett when he was their front. But I like it's tough. The Ronettes, Ronnie Spector. That Phil Spector started producing them. He created the Wall of Sound, which was starting with doo-wop. Matter of fact, he was in a doo-wop band. I think the Teddy Bears or something like that. But they weren't necessarily very successful. Chicago would be like maybe the Moonglows, and they did like blow harmony, which is really, really hard to do. Very different than a lot of the other harmonizers. But most doo-wop groups were one-hit wonders, so it's tough to find one like the Platters would probably be my favorite. It's tough to find ones that consistently had hit after hit, like a Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers or the Platters.
Are you oh my God, let me see if I'm gonna do this right. Doo-wop, doo-wop, boo boo kitty, tell us about the boy from New York City. What is it, the Manhattan Transfer?
Wow, that was awful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of things that were later on.
Okay.
Doo-wop was mainly like between 50 5 and 63, maybe. But like I said, that's just one aspect of it. But I like most music, you know. I know a little bit about music from most genres.
Javi, have we had a doo-wop song come up on a doo-wop? I don't believe so, right? Not yet.
No, I can't say we have.
We gotta pick like a year, you know, an older year.
Yeah.
Like 50s.
We've had My Girl. My Girl was on there, but I guess you can. It's not really a doo-wop song.
Yeah, that's Motown.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, right? Doo-wop was a big influence on like Stax Records and Motown Records because that was the whole concept where they had a lead and they had a harmonizing group behind them.
Right.
They usually choreographed dancing.
Right.
So you look at, you know, the Jackson 5, the Four Tops especially, they all kind of came out of the whole doo-wop thing, or at least they were influenced by doo-wop acts. But My Girl, yeah, that's a great song. That was the first song written for David Ruffin as the lead of the Temptations. He just had an amazing voice.
You are smart. You're not only handsome, you are smart.
If I had a nickel, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'd be a rich man.
Hey,
No, I appreciate that. It's a smokescreen, but I do my best to keep it up.
hey, Methadon's asking what's your opinion on the Ventures?
I've never heard of the Ventures.
There you have it, Mastodon.
That's my opinion. Next question.
Hey, man, you know,
I've never heard of them. There are so many obscure groups. There are literally hundreds and hundreds. And I've got like books where I'd go through and I'd say, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then so I would use that as a springboard to say, well, they say this is their biggest hit. Let me go on YouTube to see if I can find someone spinning a 45 of this particular song. And sometimes you will and sometimes you won't. Most of them, I can't say that. Two of the popular categories for doo-wop groups were car groups and bird groups. Why that is, I don't know, but it's almost like they figured independently, but somewhat together. Well, let's name ourselves after a car or a bird.
That's basically
just lots of strange things.
The Ventures was that surf rock group. They did Wipeout.
Oh, they did. What is it? Wipeout?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Right? That's just an instrumental, ain't it?
With the exception of that phrase, I think, in it, right? They actually do say Wipeout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you also said that you're not embarrassed that to say that you're into comics. Was it always that way, or is that just now as you grew into, you know?
It's probably always that way. I've never really cared much about whether or not someone thought something I was into was worthy of them being into it or not. I'm kind of like, you know, you do you, not in a naughty kind of way, right. And I'll do me. You know what I mean? And so if you think that's cool and you want to know more about it, hey, come on in. If not, that's on you. I don't care.
Did you ever get any backlash for that, or, you know, bullying or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes I get, oh, that's childish or little kids. And so I'm like, well, read this, read that, read this. Right. And then if you've actually done that and you can say the same thing, good on you.
Right.
But I suspect that if you read Mouse or V for Vendetta or anything by Ed Brubaker, you probably wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
So it's just people have preconceived notions from 30 or 40 years ago that they kind of carry forward just because they've never explored the medium.
Right.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know about Mouse.
Mouse.
That's interesting. You bring it up. Yeah, that's a good.
Well, it's the only graphic storytelling that won the Pulitzer Prize for Literature. Mm-hmm. And right after they won it, they said, "Oh, those don't count anymore. Let's not let any more of those win." So now, a graphic novel or a comic-related novel can't win that.
That's crazy. You said that everybody at your job knows you're into comics. Do they all know you're into YouTube?
No, a couple of them do, but not all of them.
Do they comment on your stuff?
No, I think very early on, a couple of guys did, but not too many people who know my channel, man.
Bro, your first video. The reason I'm asking is that your first video has one comment.
Oh yeah, that is someone from my job. Right? Yeah, that is someone from my job. Yeah,
I figured because I forget what the comment was, but it was very snide, very sarcastic as shit. And I was like, that's got to be somebody he freaking knows, man. It just has.
Yeah. I think he said, "Is this going anywhere, or is this failing like for funding, or something like that?" Yeah.
Yeah, I read it, and at first I was like, "What a dick!" And then I was like, I bet you that's a friend of his, man.
Yeah.
That was great, dude.
Yeah, friends like those, right?
Yeah. And I saw the name, and I go, dude, I've never seen this guy comment anywhere.
Right.
This is a friend of his, man. That's awesome, dude. I love it.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, before the interruption in the internet, I'll tighten that one back up. So I went back and edited that very same video, that review video, like about a year later.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, now that I put some editing on there, let's get the comments and the likes and, you know, the offers for YouTube collaborations to come forward. Nothing, crickets. But I just I didn't do anything, right? I just did that, put it back out there and went about my business. And the same friend from work kept asking me, well, aren't you going to put out something else? And I don't know. Like I said, I never realized there was a YouTube community. I never watched comic book channels, anything like that. I just figured, well, I put something out and that's kind of the end of it.
Right.
And so I think maybe like 6 months later or something like that, I just did a real quick video. And then it wasn't until like July of 2019 that I started putting out weekly content.
Dude, you got a ton of videos on your channel. You have
I do put out a lot, which is good and bad. I mean, it's a creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I know that they're cannibalizing one another.
Yeah.
So that's probably the bad part. It's a time. It can be a time sink, right? It's a challenge to watch videos from everybody that you're sub to, and so there's an opportunity cost involved.
Yeah.
Right. If I watch this, I'm not going to be able to watch that kind of thing. And so when I regularly put out 3 a week, plus maybe a live stream on the weekends. So I totally get it that not everybody's going to be able to watch every video. So if I put out 1 a week or 1 every 2 weeks, those specific videos would probably get a lot more views than I do. But I'm okay with that. I'm not necessarily into getting a whole bunch of subs or views. It's the comments, it's the interaction, it's being in live streams, being able to speak to people, have conversations. Those are the most important elements to me.
It truly is. I couldn't agree with you more. It's funny, Jay Hood made this comment. Sounds like something I would say about my content. And it's funny, Jay Hood, because you and Mag, Bill, you guys are so alike, it seems to me. Javi, do you get that too?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Dude, I get that, bro, that they're hilarious, but they're always so stoic and so keep the straight face. You know, it's like, bro, when I did that intro right now, I was like, okay, I got to pull. I didn't tell Javi. I was like, okay, I've been practicing today. Okay, how does he do it? And it's this, and it's hello, comic book guys and gals. Well, oh my God, forget it. Anyway, but you never freaking crack a smile. Like right now, I'm seeing you smile, but I've never really crack a smile when you're so deadpan. It's awesome.
Yeah, I hear that a lot too, especially in the beginning from my videos. Like Metarog Roger was one. He's like, wow, you actually smile.
Yes.
When I think that was after I did my first live stream.
Okay.
But yeah,
It's just
it's interesting because I'll put in a lot of like little one-liners here or there. But like I said, that there's such a demand on people's time, and I get it, that most people just go from book to book to book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In a lot of my hauls, and so they don't hear the little smart ass comments I put here and there. And I'll usually record them sometimes months in advance.
Oh, wow.
If I'm feeling creative, I'll just go through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so I always have like 10 to 20 videos ready at any particular point in time. Okay. And then I'm almost always 2 weeks ahead in editing and scheduling. So I'll oftentimes have forgotten what was in a video when it comes out. And the boss usually wants to watch them with me. And so if people will comment and stuff, then I'll acknowledge their comment. That's a big deal to me.
Yeah, me too.
Big deal.
Yeah.
But I won't write anything specific because often I can't remember what the heck they're referring to because I don't remember the video. So I'll have to wait until I watch the video with her, and then now I have the context and I can respond to them, somewhat intelligently, or at least in a way that makes sense to whatever point or question or comment that they made. So yeah, when we watch it, I'm an idiot, right? I giggle. I laugh at my stupid little jokes that I make. And she looks and she goes, no one else, listens to that. If one person does, that's all right with me. It's fun. It's funny, right? I like to crack. I think when it's time to be serious, you need to be serious.
Of course.
I think you need to be responsible. But so many people, I think, misplace when and where you need to be serious. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think maybe a little bit of levity in certain situations would kind of help make everybody happier, move things forward, get past whatever sticking point you have. So, or kind of highlight the absurdity of whatever situation you're in.
Yeah.
So I use that at work for different things, and I'll use it in the YouTube videos as well.
It's great that you do that because I'm a lot like that, dude. I fuck with my friends all the time, and I act stupid or I just fuck with them, dude. And some of them get it, like Chad, 90MF Comics. He's always like this guy because I'm always throwing stupid shit. Just it, Javi. Just stupid shit.
You're trying to just push his buttons and try to just get a rise out of him for no reason.
I don't do it too much live. I just don't think it'll go off as good. But you got it down to a T, man. Because it is your little. I get them because I think they're freaking hilarious. They're really good. So keep on doing it. What does she feel about you being on YouTube? I guess she gets a kick out of it, huh?
I don't know if she cares one way or the other. I think as long as it's something that I enjoy doing, she's like, knock yourself out. Seriously, knock yourself out. You love me. But I don't know that she really cares a whole lot one way or the other. I think where her concern would come in is if it, leads me to spend a tremendous amount more money than I would otherwise. But right. I'm pretty consistent on that, pretty tight on budgeting and all that stuff.
You got some great books though. I
don't know. I've got some decent books. It's like when I first determined here's what I'm going to collect. This was like 20 years ago. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do 1 through 20 or 1 through whatever that series ending is of these titles. And I'm pretty dogmatic, and I've kind of stuck to that. Some years I would get several things. Other years I wouldn't buy a comic book at all. I might buy a lot of trades, but no comics. So it just kind of just depends. I think lately and by lately, I guess I mean within the last 5 years, my tastes have kind of started to change a bit. I still love and will try to complete all the things I had, but I'm also getting into other things a little bit more strongly than I had previously, like pre-code horror, war books, sword and sorcery, things like that. So it depends. I guess it all just kind of evolves, but I have a decent amount. It's all relative, right? To what you consider a lot and what you don't. I have what I think is probably too much as far as comic books go.
How big? Yeah, chances are Hialeah is alone in the room, talks to the wall, and imagines us all. I've seen him do it, Brian G, and I've seen him do it.
So okay. So what do you mainly read? What do you mainly read? The older stuff now? Is that what you're reading?
No, I've been reading some newer stuff just because I have the Marvel Unlimited app.
Okay, yeah.
And so I just figured that's a much more economical way to consume both old and new, as long as it's Marvel, right? I know that DC has a similar app that also includes other media, like some of their TV shows and movies. But I'm more of a Marvel guy, so I thought at least initially I'd start off with that and kind of see how that led me. But I read recently, and by recently I mean maybe finished a month ago, all the Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Just because watching Metarog's video on them, I was like, oh yeah, I really enjoy that series. And there were several that I haven't read. I hadn't read all of them. So I went back and read that. But right now I'm reading the Tony Stark Iron Man and several of the issues that go through that. I'm not big on the new comics. I'll give them all a chance. Like Immortal Hulk's pretty good. Venom's pretty good. You know, Cates is a good writer.
Yeah.
Most of the new things that I would tend to want to read, were I to continue to purchase trades or something like that, would probably be indies. I just think that they're written a little bit better. Yeah. I just think a lot of the modern comic books are poorly written and generally have to fulfill some sort of quotient of doing this, doing that. And I just don't think some of the older stuff is the same way. Don't get me wrong. I think Silver Age and Bronze Age, a lot of those series were poorly written as well, just for different reasons.
Yeah. And I tend to agree with with Kenny here. Mags has a nice eclectic. Because you're eclectic. Because you're like I've seen it. I know you're a big Conan fan because you've been getting a ton of those slabs. You like the magazine ones, like the Hulk magazines. I saw you got that the Marvel premiere. What was it? A 9.2? The first Iron Fist.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not a boy who had 7. 9.8 collector, but I'm definitely 9.2 is about where I want to be with most of the slabs that I get for silver and bronze. Yeah. Copper, if you want to say that copper exists, and modern, preferably a little bit higher. Golden Age 4.5 is kind of that or higher is where I've established where I want to be. But yeah, Savage Sword of Conan is probably my favorite series of all time. What's up, Lasso?
Conan stories are great, man. Talk about an eclectic series. That goes all over the place and just
it's fantastic. I got the Dark Horse did a set of trade paperbacks for that.
Excellent.
1 through 26, I think. Yeah, and that's where I read them all, and I was just like, "This is awesome, love it." And so that's kind of what led me to start collecting some of the magazines.
So you've never stopped collecting then? You never had that long hiatus from when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah. I don't have anything from when I was younger. and most of that collecting was sports cards. I might have had 500,000, 600,000 sports cards that all got lost.
Wait. How did it get lost? Your mom?
Between moves, I had huge boxes between moves. Somehow something happened to them. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it is what it is. And I didn't have nearly as many comics, but I have some comics, and most of them, or all of them are gone. I don't know where they went. But I started collecting again maybe, very late 90s. Maybe when I got back to Phoenix from Texas, probably.
So you don't have any of those cards left?
No. I have lots of cards, but not from then. Not from when I was younger.
Dude, how do you fucking lose that many fucking cards? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I was young at the time. I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't in charge of the storage areas back then.
God, dude, it was probably Storage Wars that ended up in one of those.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, probably.
Could have been Dave sneaking in there. Yep.
Oh, dude, yeah. Perfect, dude. Dude, that's crazy, man. Wow.
So yeah, I probably have like maybe 100,000 sports cards now, but I haven't collected those for years. I've mainly concentrated on comics. And I have way too many of those between raw, slabbed, and trades.
How many comics do you have? Do you think you have?
Raw, maybe 15.
1,500?
1,000.
15,000. Okay.
Yeah, which isn't a lot. I mean, some people have 100,000, but
right,
to me, it's too many.
Yeah.
Trades, maybe 1,000.
Trades?
Yeah, trade paperbacks.
Wow.
I mean, I was in a group, a trade paperback group called what was it called? Trade Paperback Swap, I think, where you would put out a list of here are the trades I have, and other people would put out lists, and you'd say, hey, all right, I'll trade you these for these, and you kind of agree on that, and then you'd media mail them to each other, and so you get new reads for the cost of whatever it cost you to mail them out. And I did that for years. Slabs between things that are in my PC and ones that I'll sell, I might have 800 to 1,000.
Dude, that's insane.
Wow.
You have them in a storage now?
In my house. Yeah.
You learned your lesson?
Right over there, probably hundreds. And then in another room, hundreds more. In another room. Those are the slabs. But I mean, as far as comics, same thing. Thousands in another room, thousands down under the stairs. That's why, like, for the under the stairs one, I don't like to do that. So if, like, for the Gray Man's channel, we're doing it's really fun. Each of the Saturday mornings, it's Gray Man, Metarog, myself, Slim Comics, and more. We show 5 covers from that fit a particular criteria. Last week it was Ghost. A Ghost had to be on the cover. And so if I can go in the other room and look through those thousands and find it, I'm cool. But I don't want to go downstairs, just have to haul out boxes from under the stairs and stuff. I'll figure something else out before I have to kind of go through those.
Okay. What show is that? Whose channel is that on?
The Gray Man.
Man, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's a live stream he's been doing the last few weeks. So he's doing one each Saturday for October where we're coming up with some Halloween-themed covers.
Nice.
And so last Saturday it was Ghosts. This next Saturday it's going to be Monsters.
I have to go back and watch that because I haven't seen that. I know his Bloggity Bog. I've seen the other stuff, but I have not. I've seen the stuff that he's doing with the music, where you pick 5 albums.
Right.
I've been watching.
Pull up Ray and Gene's comic because I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, no doubt it is.
I know the people under the stairs with the short boxes under the stairs. So like,
I'm an old man. I don't want to be slinging those things around, and it's just even the thought of it just tires me out.
Do you know what what series is under the stairs, or is it just kind of?
You know, I do, because Mrs. Musings, maybe a year or two ago, she said, "What are you doing with these things? Why don't you organize them?" I'm like, I don't know. So she helped me organize them, and she put like stickies on the front alphabetically. But then ever since that point, when I stashed them under there, everything after that has not been organized at all. So I'll go through things. I'm like, man, I could have sworn I had one of those. I don't know where it's at. And that's it, right? I've already looked. I'm not going to go down there and look through things. It's just too exhausting.
Dude, fucking A, bro. The people under the stairs. That's Wes Craven? Was that a Wes Craven or a Carpenter? I think that was Wes Craven, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't. The original one. Oh wow, that came out in 1991.
Yeah, I remember it's the little kid.
Yeah, little kid. Yeah, it's Wes Craven. You're right.
It's Wes Craven. Yeah, that movie was crazy. Yeah, dude. I'm getting ready for Comigories, and I couldn't imagine going through fucking 15,000 comic books.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to go through what I got and hoping for the best. But damn, dude, 15,000.
I saw how you. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say I saw how you display your slabs. They're like.
Oh yeah.
It's I don't know what it is, but it's on some like black frame, and you have them kind of going on vertically.
Right. So, the boss got that for me as a gift maybe a couple of years ago, because that was another thing that it almost angered her. You know, she's like, "What's your end game here, dude? Are you going to ever put together a run of something?" I'm like, "I'm working on it." You know, these are acquisitions of opportunity. If I find something at the right price, then I'll pick it up. Otherwise, I won't. And so right. I think it frustrated her that for 20 years, I've been working on all these titles and had never put together even a 1 through 20 of anything. Wow. And so finally, I got like a 1 through 12 of a couple, and she got, I don't know where she got it, but she got it. It's almost like a, gosh, what are they called? Well, it's almost like a room divider where you can, it's hinged. Mm-hmm. It's 3 columns that are hinged, so 2 hinge points, and it holds 12 graded comic books. Nice. So 4 per column, and you can bend one back, move one forward. You can make it concave. You can display it different ways, and it sits on the floor. And nice. So, yeah, she got me 2 of those. So I have Black Panther 1 through 12 in one, and the Micronauts 1 through 12 in the other. So right. I've gotten a couple more 1 through 12 that I could put in there. I just haven't like switched them out yet.
The Micronauts? Mm-hmm. That's not a run people usually mention.
No, that was the first comic book I ever read was Micronauts #1. Wow. And so I just loved that run. Great Michael Golden art. I actually got to meet him at Phoenix Comic-Con a few years ago. That's one of my favorites all time. I like a lot of the Japanese toy license adaptations. Micronauts, Shogun Warriors, ROM. I just thought they were all pretty well done.
Did you have the Micronauts growing up?
I did. I had almost nothing growing up, quite honestly.
Really?
If I played with something, it was probably my friends down the street. I go over his house and play with his toy. We had nothing. Very, very, very poor. But I do have a Micronauts toy now that Mrs. Musings got me.
Dude, she sounds like, I think, is she watching?
I don't know. She had to take Mini Musings to swim practice.
Dude, she sounds really into it. You say that she really doesn't care, but it seems like she's really into it.
Well, she's really into this handsome devil, I can tell you that.
Hey, and I see, dude, I've seen you doing push-ups I would too. I would too. I would too, bro. But no, I think she got you the Micronauts toy. Which one did she get you?
I don't know. I'd have to go look.
Is it the one that the wings will pop open?
No, I don't think it's a figure. I think it's an actual vehicle. You know what? Let me go check. It won't take me too long.
No, go ahead. All right. Guys, what's up? Jackson Roy Clark, Stay Puff, what's going on? Jay Hood, Vivi, you've been killing. Everybody's been killing it, man. Thank you all for coming by, man. This is awesome.
I like that avatar that he's got there.
Which one?
The comic Mag Musings Bill's avatar for it.
That's right. I wasn't looking there. I was looking at the chat. Yeah, you know what he does that for? I think he puts that for those are 2 quarters.
Yeah, it's 50 cents.
50 cents, bro. It's pretty fucking badass, dude. I like that too. I like that shit too.
All right, so it's this guy, Hydra.
Oh my god, I remember those fucking toys, bro. God, that's exactly it.
So yeah, I haven't opened it. This is how I got it. So I just kind of left it alone.
Dude,
so I get 3, right? 1 for display, 1 for a backup, and 1 to play with.
I loved those growing up, man. I remember I had a few of those vehicles, and my God, yes, loved them.
Yeah, I never had I wanted things, right? Like everybody, I wanted the Micronauts, Evel Knievel toys. Boy, I mean, geez, I must have discovered 4 or 5 different religions just to find someone who would answer that prayer about getting me one of those Evel Knievel bikes or rockets or something like that.
The crank?
No.
The crank?
No. Yeah, didn't happen. Nope. Oh yeah, I wanted it all. Same with the $1 Million Man, the one where
oh my God! You just took it right out of my mouth. That's what I was gonna say. Where you could look through his head.
Yep.
And see, oh my God.
Yep, that was incredible. Yep. Now I have one of those, but I didn't have one of those when I was little.
Nice.
I used to have a dream, right? This is how sick I was. I used to have a dream where I'd be with my friend, and I dreamt this multiple times. And there would be this huge mound of dirt. And we're digging in the dirt, and inside were Hot Wheels in the packages, inside this mound of dirt. Still in the packages, and I was like freaking out. Like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then inevitably I'd wake up at some point and realize that no, I don't have any Hot Wheels. Don't have too many friends, actually. The one for the dream might have been a paid actor or something. I'm not sure. But back to reality. So I almost had no toys, but wanted them. Right? Saw all the commercials. Saw the cartoons and stuff.
Dude, so what do you think? Everything you have now, that many trades, that many comics, the slabs, you think you're making up for what you didn't have as a child? Is that what you think?
Possibly, right? I've never tried to analyze it too much, but I'm sure there's some of that involved. Nostalgia plays a big part, whether it's something you had or something you always wanted. Right? It's kind of like sports cars.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're like, oh boy, look at this old man having a midlife crisis with his sports car. That's not it. He's always wanted that sports car, but he never had any money. When he was younger, he didn't have a good job. When he finally got a good job, he had all of these unwashed and undeserving kids that he needed to take care of. As soon as he kicked their ass out of the house, now he's got all this money. Exactly. And he's in his late 40s, early 50s. So he goes out and buys the thing he always wanted 30 years ago. Same thing, I think.
That's exactly what it is, bro.
Yeah, there's probably something of that in there.
Yeah, it's not like I want to be young again. We don't want to be young again.
We just always wanted this badass car.
And we wanted comic books, and we wanted these toys.
Absolutely, wanted to. Yeah, that's it too.
And now we could get it.
And I think as you get older, specifically with comic books, you might appreciate the medium on maybe a different level or from a different vantage point than you did when you were younger.
Yeah.
When you were younger, you were probably more into it for the stories. And I read a lot of comic books now, right? I read every day, but I also collect from an art standpoint, right? Some of the great art. There are some that I'll collect just for the cover art, right? Especially like PCH. If it's not EC, then the stories generally weren't very good anyways with pre-code horror. So it's the cover. That's what you're buying for those.
Right.
So it just kind of depends on what the genre is.
But a lot of people do that now, even with the modern books. A lot of the modern books I buy now is, oh my God, look at this freaking cover. It's freaking gorgeous. I'll never.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll do the same, but starting in the beginning of this year. So toward the end of last year, I'm like, because I'm not big on modern comics in the sense that I've never gone to a comic book shop intentionally for comic book day, Wednesday,
Right.
That's just never been me. I've probably gone to a comic book shop 6 to 10 times a year. It's just never been my thing. I think they're great, but if they all close tomorrow, it probably wouldn't affect me one way or the other, because most of my acquisitions aren't new comic books when they come out anyways. But toward the end of last year, there were a couple that I was picking up. I think some Immortal Hulks that I was picking up. I'm like, damn, that's expensive. And there's a finite set of resources, right?
Yeah.
And you have to kind of plan and determine what's most important to you and how do you want to divvy up those resources. And so it was at that point that I said, well, if I'm ever buying a modern comic book again, with exceptions, like if there's some awesome limited variant cover or something like that, which doesn't happen too often, I said, I'm not going to pay more than $1 a piece. And so I pretty much stuck to that, right? And so now that may mean that if I hit up a comic shop, I may buy hundreds at that point in time because they have a very limited sale. But I haven't done that, right? I haven't spent more than $1. And in some cases, I'll spend 50 cents a piece. And so that's where the 50-cent hauls and the dollar hauls came from. But that's just something I decided myself that they weren't important enough to me to really spend more than that. I've
never been to Arizona. Are there a lot of good shops there?
You're not allowed here, bro. If that hasn't been stated clearly before. I don't know about Arizona. Phoenix, there are probably, gosh, I don't know, maybe not a lot, not what I would call a lot for the size of the city, maybe 10 to 20.
Dude, that's not bad.
But it's a huge city, right? This is like the 5th largest city in the whole country. So you would expect there'd be more than that.
But that's in area. That's in area or in population?
No, in population. In area, it's probably bigger than that. Yeah. So you got LA, which is number 1. Then New York. Then Chicago. Then Houston. And then we passed up Philadelphia like a few years ago.
How the fuck do you know that?
I don't know. So I'm a Phoenician, I guess.
How do you know the population, the top 10 population? That's crazy.
Because it's a big city. Dude, and that's a misconception, I think, about Phoenix, is that it's way out there in the desert, which it is. But people are killing themselves to try to move here as quickly as possible. No one's leaving Phoenix, but we get all these people from California, New York, all these colder states, right? Wisconsin, Michigan, they're all trampling one another to get here quickly. So there's something going on here. Now, weather's part of it. The standard of living, the cost of living are big parts of it as well.
The weather, I imagine, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, generally they get tired of cold, right? Yeah. Living in snow. I couldn't imagine that.
Me neither.
I mean, you could hold a gun to my head and I might dare you before I'll move to where it's snowing. I just think that's insane as a grown-up to live in a place where you could go careening through an intersection because you have no control over your car. That's madness to me, right? I did that in Texas, going over a bridge a couple of times. I'm like, this is freaking insane. Who does this? Well, they do that.
I can't.
Or you go off in a ditch and you could die of hypothermia or something. I don't know. Maybe it's living in Phoenix, but I just think that's madness to live in those conditions.
How did you end up in Phoenix? Because I think you stated earlier that you were from Texas.
Well, no, I grew up. Well, I wouldn't say grew up, but I was born and spent the first few years in a Hialeah suburb of Miami in Florida. And then from there, my mother and father moved out to Phoenix. All right. So I'm a native. So I'm one of the few. Most people aren't. But I was born and raised here. After high school, I did a stint in the Army, and that's when I was in Texas. I spent 8 years there and then moved back, and I've been back ever since. So other than those 8 years, I've been in Phoenix.
Wow. And you say, well, that's pretty much how it is here, man. Everybody in Miami is from other places. There's a ton
I mean, that's the corridor, right, for the Northeast, where a lot of New Yorkers, New Jerseyites are they called? They retire and move down to Florida, right?
And all they do is, well, let me not get into that conversation. Let me not say anything.
Well, it's a similar thing here.
Really?
So a lot of people retire in colder states, and they say, you know what, this is becoming a health risk.
Right.
We need to move where it's a warmer climate.
Right, right.
And California is just too expensive.
Are you in your comic book office right now? You are, right? Do you got?
Yeah, I don't really have a comic book room, so this is the office.
There's something I saw in one of your videos today. I want to know if you could show us. You have a Jefferson airplane concert thing on.
Oh, yeah.
You still have that on the wall?
Yeah, that's in the upstairs hallway.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was in that. Where did you get that?
I probably got that off of eBay. I got that so long ago. I just don't remember.
Why Jefferson's airplane?
Oh, I just thought they were great. I mean, White Rabbit. I just thought they're amazing, especially Gray Slick. Right?
No, I like them as well. I'm not putting them down. I like them as well. What's that song?
Yeah. Plus, a lot of those late '60s, early '70s with the kind of psychedelic really had great music posters, great concert posters.
Yeah, great.
So I have like a what was that? Janis Joplin. You know, I have a Big Brother and the Holding Company concert poster as well. Same reason.
Grateful Dead, their posters. I think their posters go for.
But they got to actually have good music. Jesus Christ, they suck, man. Other than that, like Touch of Grey, their music just stinks. You got to be high as a kite to even. So I'd rather probably be waterboarded than sit through a Grateful Dead concert. I'll be honest with you. Dude, I can't deal with that. But yeah, the concert posters, you're onto something there.
My son's a big Grateful Dead fan.
Oh,
I'm like you. It's Touch of Grey. I also like Driving That Train, High on Cocaine, Casey Jones. That's the song.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Franklin's Tower is good.
And I'd rather French Kiss a Pistol than have to sit through an album of them.
Dude, they're not that bad.
No, they're pretty bad.
No, they're not. Yeah. Dude, don't say that. They're not they're not nowhere near my favorite, but I don't think they're as bad as what you're saying.
No, they're almost as bad as what I'm saying.
Touch my what, says Gray Man.
Touch of Grey. Oh shit, that's awesome, dude. You got me. You fucker. That was great. Dude. Oh, look, Donnie's a freaking, look at that.
He's a deadhead.
He's a deadhead, exactly right, yeah.
I would not have imagined that of Donnie. Wow. Wow, I'm surprised.
I figured him for either a deadhead or a parrot head.
Oh, see, that's the I can't get into him. I can't get into him.
Now, Gray Man's quoting, what was that? That was Bachman Turner Overdrive, right?
All right.
Dude, so, you got to improve your form on your push-ups. I brought that up earlier. You got to improve your form, man. What's did you even finish that? Did you finish the 22 days?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
of course,
you, bro. Dude, that was great. I really liked doing that challenge, man. It was great.
I didn't. I'm just lazy, right? But I got tagged by a backseat driver, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to ignore him. So
yeah,
I did my time. I did what I was supposed to do. I did them properly, military grade, the whole 9 yards. I remembered from 30 years prior, and did them exactly the way I was supposed to do them, and checked that box and moved on.
It was for a good cause. You know who I was impressed with that? One, Donnie, and Fuchsia. I thought she was freaking hers were and John is everybody, but Fuchsia stands out to me, man. She stuck with it and she knocked it out the park, man. She was excellent. John as well.
Yeah, it's for a good cause, right?
Yeah. John,
hopefully it brings some awareness and brings that topic to the forefront in some people's minds, because it's easily dismissed and definitely probably not the most prevalent of facts out there. So.
Yeah, definitely. You got some stuff you want to unbox, don't you?
Oh, I do. Sure.
Ooh.
That's my
couple items.
Is this our first unboxing on our show, Javi?
I don't think it's our first one.
I can't remember somebody. I don't think it is though either. But
Well, it's an unboxing nonetheless. That's always exciting.
Yeah, Fuchsia, you were awesome, man. Yeah, and you gotta keep doing them. You gotta keep doing your push-ups.
So we'll do one.
All right.
And I'll tell you a couple cool stories, and then we'll do the other one. How about that?
Sounds good, man.
All right. So I don't know what this one is. The other one I do know what it is.
How do you not know what it is?
Because it's been sitting so long that I've since forgotten.
You're one of these people that could hold off from getting a package?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I do that too, man.
I've had, I'll buy graded books in an auction. They'll sit sometimes 3 or 4 months.
No way.
And I'll have no idea what's in them. So it's truly a mystery unboxing when I open it up.
Dude, that is insane. I could never do that.
We're very similar in the way that we collect, where I go straight for the $1.50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Javi's the master. Javi,
we find some good stuff in those bins, man.
Yeah, JP's is bad. Yeah, JP's horrible. All right, let's see what you got.
All right. Nothing fantastic, but this is Fatal.
Nice.
#1.
That's a badass cover, man.
So I'm a big fan of Brubaker.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that his noir stories are incredible, and if they aren't optioned, will be optioned. So I don't think it's a bad idea to pick up some #1 from some of his series like Velvet, Criminal, Fatal. I just think that they're probably a good investment. What's that?
First #1. That's the first #1 you got, or you got multiple copies?
Of that one, no. I had the trade for that. So that would be the first one that I have of the comic book.
My God, your excitement is incredible. Look at how happy you're fucking so excited. It's overflowing that you got that book. My God.
I'm a fountain of positivity that can be tapped into at any particular point in time.
Oh my God, stop, man. Stop. People, so much emotion in opening up, man. Wow.
Yeah, he's great. Next to like Rick Remender and Steve Niles, probably my 2 other favorite writers. So I'm more of a writer, as far as, newer books that I pick up are indies, then I would care about the art. The art would be more of the older stuff, or obviously cover bias things from the golden age.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm hoping to pick this up sometime soon. But did you read Pulp yet by Ed Brubaker?
Yes.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've been wanting to pick that one up.
It's excellent. Just about anything he's written is excellent. I haven't read anything that I don't like.
Nice.
Dude, look at this. You see what I mean? Jay is just like you, bro. It's just
we're doppelgangers.
Fuck, you guys are so much alike, dude.
Now that we're on the topic, I ever mentioned how incredibly handsome J-Head Creative is?
You know what's the best thing about, you know what you need? You need a tattoo like J Hood Creative has. That's
one thing. I came very close. I don't know how very close, but
close enough.
Yeah, a lifetime ago when I was in the Army, I was going to get my unit crest on the shoulder. And I was in the tattoo shop, but I was like, you know what? In 30 years, is this going to mean the same thing to me? Do I want to be one of those guys that kind of lives in the past and stuff, or do I want to move forward? And I couldn't answer those questions to my satisfaction. So I said, let me put that off. So I've never gotten any tattoos, but came close that one time.
You know what? Maybe I should have thought of some of those questions while I was getting mine. You're a lot smarter. You're a lot smarter than no regret. I'm kidding. There's only one that I kind of regret, but yeah, I wish I would have asked myself those same questions.
But at least you didn't get one like of the Noid, or Max Headroom or something like that. That was like so specific, or that bad boy tattoo, so specific to a particular genre.
A bad boy tattoo or a tribal? The tribal.
Yeah. I'd love to see that. Yep, right around there.
Yeah, it's hard. Oh, thank God. Yeah, at least I didn't do that. All right, man. What else you got? All
right, so I'll give you a little story. This is a trip, right? So I got 2 older sisters and an older brother, half, right?
Okay.
They've always been that, but a younger brother and a younger sister, and they're half. So my older brother and 2 older sisters were born in New Jersey, and it's amazing. It'd be like you could write a book about this stuff, but something happened to their father, and they never remember him, and so they moved out here. My mom claimed that she was divorced from my father before he knew about me, so never met the dude. And then my younger brother and younger sister were fathered by my stepfather, right? So whatever. But as far as my father goes, I'd always wondered, I was like, is that dude in jail? Because I heard my older siblings, they had faint memories of him, that he wasn't a very good dude, according to them.
Right.
And so I was wondering, is that dude in prison? Is he is he dead? Whatever happened to him? Well, anyway, so maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, I took one of those Ancestry.com tests.
Okay.
And some lady said, hey, it says we're first cousins to close family. Can you tell me anything about it? And so I said, well, this is information about my mom, and this is what I was told about my father. And she's like, no way, I'm your sister. She goes, that's my father. He's my father too. And so apparently my mom didn't put some truthful things like his birth date or where he was from, different things like that. And whenever I'd ask her, she'd get upset. And so I'd leave it alone. But apparently the dude's from Colorado. I thought it was from Louisiana. That's what it said on the birth certificate. And he was a lot younger than what it said on the birth certificate. But so this lady is my half sister, and she lives in Peoria, which is a suburb of Phoenix. She's about 45 minutes to an hour away, and she has a sister too, a full sister. So I guess that's my half sister, Sharp. Wow. And she found this dude, right? And said that he lives in Colorado, and he's got a son that he raised that lives in remote, off the grid, somewhere in Colorado, not too far from him. And she said that there's like another boy and 2 girls somewhere in Phoenix that she was tracking down that he is the father of as well. And so, anyways, a long story short, I met her, and not too long after that, he came down and visited her, stayed with her for a week, and they came by and spent a couple hours with us. And so that was the first time I'd met him 45 years after I was born.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Didn't really want anything from the dude. Didn't want to like reestablish some relationship or anything. Just wanted to satisfy the curiosity and kind of check that box. But it's wild, I haven't stayed too close into contact. Not with him, not at all, but with her either. It's just I got so much going on, and it's. I think family's more about kind of growing up together versus having, sharing a bloodline. It's difficult to try to force those relationships after so long not having known one another, but we'll see. And I'm not typically that communicative to begin with, so it's a work in progress. But I just thought it was a trip. You hear about those things. You could write a book about my family dynamics.
Dude, that's crazy. How did it hit you? You know what's the good thing about that though? It answered a lot of questions. You learned a lot. It doesn't necessarily, like you say, you want to build the relationships because, it's you can't bridge those years,
Right.
But you're happy you did that, right? Are you glad, or it would have been?
I don't have any ill will. I mean, I did for years when I was younger. There was definitely some anger there, but it's all water under the bridge, right? You can't get that back. And so what am I going to do? Stand there and accuse him of this? Because he left, right? He knew about me, and he left before I was born. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, everyone's got to own up to their own consequences and deal with whatever they got to deal with. And it's not my job to say, you're an asshole and you did this or you did that. That's on you.
Right.
And you made your choices and I'm making my choices. It was just more out of curiosity, see what the dude looks like,
Was he
see how he speaks. What's that?
Was he a handsome devil?
Come on now. Come on. Of course he is. No. He came down on a motorcycle, and from what I understand, he like doesn't have television, cable. He's like off the grid kind of thing in Colorado. Wow. So
he probably listens to the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, he probably does. Yeah. Yeah, he's a big deadhead.
Let me ask you a question though. So you did that ancestry test, right?
Right.
And you did your test. You got back the results, and then out of the blue, your sister calls you, or she emails you, or
so it'll say, "Hey, you're connected to this person at this level, right? Where you're first cousin to close family, which means that at this point we can narrow down that this person's mother or father is your aunt or uncle, or your brother and sister."
Wow.
And so in that category, that's when she contacted me and said, because they sent her that nugget or suggestion, and she said, "Hey, I'm curious to find out how we might be related." So they'll do that with your second cousin, third, fourth, all the way on down.
So when you do it and you fill out the paper, I imagine you got to fill out a form and all that. You authorize them to let's say her.
Yes.
Be able to and all that.
Yes. Well, they can contact you through the site.
Wow.
Right. So Ancestry.com will send you an email saying, "Hey, you got someone sent you a message," and so you would go on to Ancestry.com and read the message. So it's not like you're saying, "Hey, give that person my contact information."
Okay. That's what And how long from when you took the test did you get the results back? How long from when you took the test and sent it in did you get her response?
I don't remember. Maybe a couple to a few months. So
Wow.
maybe 2 to 4 months, something like that.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
what's your ancestry? Where are you from originally? Or your ancestors? Did they give you all that?
They did, yeah. So that was another thing. So my father thought he was Cherokee Indian.
What is he?
He's about as waspy as you can be. So, I mean, he would a good portion of his life was spent creating artistic arrows and things like that, native type artistic artifacts.
Right.
Because I guess he does have some artistic talent, which I don't, but apparently he does. And he was drawing upon his heritage that he didn't have to help create those things. So that was quite a shock to him, I guess. But yeah, mine was such a trip that it was mainly like German, Irish, English, Scottish, and it had like 0.5% Jewish and 0.1%, or maybe like 8% Eastern European, and then it keeps getting more waspy with each update that they sent me. They sent me another update saying, "Oh, you don't know what? You don't have any Jewish in you." And then another update is like, "No, there's no Eastern European." It's almost all like right in that Western or Central to Western Europe kind of region, which I knew about for most of it, because my mom's mother was Macbeth, so that would obviously be Irish, right? And
she would be your grandmother.
that's exactly right. Yeah. So yes, my maternal grandmother, but I never met any of them, right? So
Really?
other than my brothers and sisters, I never met any cousins, any aunts, uncles, grandparents, nothing. It was just me and my siblings the whole time growing up.
Wow.
So I just have stories from what I've been told, and her grandfather only spoke German, so I knew that there was some German in there. So she knew some German from when she was younger, and he would speak to her in that. And she'd say things to me like "raus," which means get the hell out of here.
What is it?
Things.
How do you say that?
Raus.
Grouse.
Raus with an R. Yeah.
Grouse.
Like get out. Yes.
Get out. That's how we're gonna.
When she'd be in the kitchen and I'd be bugging her saying I'm bored or something like that, she'd be like, she'd tell me, go play in traffic all the time. Get out of here, dude. Go figure things out. And so, yeah, I'd hang out with myself a lot, read my comics or something like that. Plus, there was an age difference. My two older sisters were almost out of the house before I remember. And my older brother, was 6 years older. So he was how I built my card collection.
Okay.
Besides pilfering his cards, whenever he went home, I'd be going through them like, "Ooh, Pete Rose, that's mine." He would send me to the Circle K, which was a convenience store. I don't know if they have them anywhere else.
Yeah,
it's like a 7-Eleven. Okay.
We have.
Yeah, we used to have some here.
So, and it was hot, right? And it was summertime, and I have no shirt, no shoes, cutoffs, just your typical white trash little dude going around, going through the alley. See, I was in Central Phoenix where we grew up, which people moved here in the early 1900s, and they said, we just moved from back east. Let's make it exactly like back east. So they planted grass, put in all these water hogging trees everywhere, right, in Central Phoenix. And so they have alleys between the backs of the houses, and that's where you put your trash out and where the trucks would drive through. But they also have canals that line those alleys so they can irrigate your lawns. Okay. So that they can put that stinky water in and you can have grass at a reasonable price, right? So I'd run from shade spot to shade spot in the alley with whatever money he gave me, and finally get to Circle K and get him his Mountain Dew and his Reggie Jackson candy bar. And usually I'd have a quarter left over, and I could buy myself a pack of Topps baseball cards.
Wow.
And so that's kind of how I built it. But yeah, I mean, I was scrounging. I go through the alleys looking for bottles, try to get deposits. I go to all the payphones, see if some sucker left a quarter in there. You better believe it. I'd do anything just to try to get some kind of money. It was like my whole existence was preoccupied with trying to get any amount of money. But it was tough because we had a swamp cooler growing up, and that's where they have water. They add water and there's a blower.
Yeah.
But we were in the opposite side of the house, my brother and I, and we had one box fan. And so he'd put that on his bed, and it's sweltering in the summertime, right? So I'm over there and I just wait sometimes hours for him to go to sleep. And then I'd sneak over there and I'd move the box fan over to me. And then I could go to sleep. And I usually get woken up an hour or two later with him just pounding me for having done so. But I'd take my beating and he'd turn it back. And this would go on and on, right? And I'd wait. And as soon as I thought he was asleep, I'd wait another 15, 20 minutes just to make sure he wasn't playing possum with me. Turn it back. And if I could get 3 or 4 good hours, then that's good on me, you know?
Dude, I used to do a lot of that stuff, man. Go looking at the freaking payphones.
Oh yeah.
Soda machines, the box tops. I would, me and my friends would do that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I wasn't, I didn't have a lot growing up either, man. My parents gave us the most we can, but you know, they were immigrants. So, you know, they were just starting out. So I totally understand what you're saying. It's funny you said about not wearing shoes. When I moved my dad was able to buy a house when I was like 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like 3 houses down, we had some American friends because there were still Americans, you know, gringos in Hialeah back then.
Right.
And I remember there was 3 of them. It was Cheryl, Melvin, and Justin, and they ran around without shoes. And I think I was 8, and I remember I tried that no shoes thing for about a week, man.
You tenderfoot.
Oh yeah. My God, dude! I remember I stopped with my big toe. I got like a stub, right? And I got it right between my big toe and. I ran in and I put on shoes, man. That shit is freaky. I don't know how you guys. I don't know how anybody does it, bro, but it was crazy. My mom was like, "What are you doing? ¿Qué es lo que tú estás haciendo? Ponte los zapatos." She thought I was bonkers, man. But yeah, man, walking around without shoes. Wow, crazy.
Yeah, it is. Looking back on it, especially, it did make sense. I mean, I had shoes.
They had shoes too.
Yeah, it's not like I didn't have shoes. I had shoes, but I had shirts.
They had shoes as well.
For some reason, I go through these sweltering hot dirt and rocks from shade spot to shade spot when I didn't need to. I don't get it either.
I did that for about a week, and then I was like, "This is fucking insane. This is insane. Why am I trying to be like that? You guys need to fucking be like me. Go fucking put on shoes."
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah. Hey, what's in the other box? This is this one you don't know, or this one you do know.
This one I do know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
another thing. If I know, I'll say it. I'll never ever lie. So if I say I don't know, it's a mystery. It truly is a mystery, and I don't know. This one I do. I can't remember the exact issue, but I know what it is. But I won't ruin that.
So you get most of your stuff in auctions, on eBay and stuff like that?
Exactly. Yep. Sometimes from OfferUp or Craigslist.
Okay.
I just got something from Facebook for the first time yesterday.
Oh, wow. Nice. You submit to CGC yourself, or you mainly buy already everything graded?
up until a few months ago.
I saw you did one.
Yeah. So it's funny because those were quickly my most viewed, and I don't have a lot of views, but for me, they were most quickly my most viewed.
You're most viewed. People love it.
Videos. But up until that, like 18, 19 years ago, when CGC was first out, I was at a local comic book shop. I said, let me try this out. And I bought a couple Black Panthers, Luke Cages, and Ghost Riders, I think. And I submitted 6 books through them. You had to fill out paperwork, and you couldn't have a membership. There were only a couple dealers through the country that you had to submit through.
Yes, I remember.
So I did that. I said, all right, I'll try that. Pay them the money. And then months later, they say, hey, your books are in. And I went and picked them up, and like 3 of them were in grades I wanted and 3 weren't. And that was it. And I'd always bought slabs after that until a few months ago when I did my first direct submission to CGC, which was a tremendous amount of fun.
It is fun. It's a thrill sending books to CGC.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah,
it's addicting. It's addicting as well.
And Mrs. Musings and I both predicted the grades. Then she went through and covered up everything, put it back in the box, but then take the box up again. That I still can't get that. And for the second time, I'm like, why would you do that? I know you opened the box. I'm not trying to fool anybody. And she did it again for the second unboxing. I don't understand why she did that.
You know what? She sounds like she's very involved and she's having fun with it, man. I don't think you're giving her enough credit. There was a book in that, and I can't remember the specific book, but I remember you predicted a 6 or a 7, and you got an 8.5. Oh, the Conan #1.
Conan #1, yeah.
The Conan #1.
I'd still question that one.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. I think they might have been asleep at the wheel on that one because this ain't my first rodeo. Yeah. And I'm not a professional grader, but I know enough to know the difference between an 8.5 and, I mean, that one had some color breaking creases, several inches long. I think I detailed it pretty clearly, all the issues with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't an 8.5,
but you'll take it.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man?
All right, so here we are. Okay. So it is a slabby.
Yeah, I was gonna say
surprise.
I think everybody's thinking it's a Conan. That's the odds-on favorite right now. Again.
That's certainly not a bad guess. We're going to find out shortly.
#1.
I'm going to say a Luke Cage #1. Hero 5.
Yeah, I wish.
I'm going to say a hero. Okay, I guess I'm wrong.
Did you guess, Javi?
Oh, man. It's got to be a Marvel book.
Okay.
All right, you got.
I know you got that pretty good.
I'm gonna say which is the magazine that's the first appearance of Man-Thing. I'm gonna say that one. That's the one I'm gonna go with. That he's holding a head. I think
too much of a softball. There are like 5 or 6 different smart-ass jokes I can make, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
I think he's holding a head.
All right. Jeez Louise. This thing's made for right-handers, by the way, in case I didn't mention that. All right.
Oh, wow.
So it is Two-Fisted Tales, number 30.
It. Wow.
That's a golden age.
Yes.
It is, yes.
1952 EC Comics.
5.0, dude, that's great. That looks beautiful, my goodness.
It is. It's a beauty. This is one of the, I'd say, better known war covers.
Wow.
So it's Two Fisted Tales number 30, EC Comics, November to December 52, classic war cover. Interior cover has full page ad for Mad number 1. Harvey Kurtzman story, Wally Wood, Jack Davis, Gene Colan, and Rick Estrada, not Eric, Rick Estrada art. Jack Davis cover. See, a lot of the kids don't understand that reference.
Dude, that's a
5.0. So I'm a big fan of EC. I have most of the reprints. And that's a new direction that I've been going in. Pre-code horror and war in general, but more specifically EC. I just think that as far as war books stories go, I think these are the best written. These and probably Blazing Combat, the Warren ones.
Hey, wait, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but look, you show off that freaking book, and all of a sudden, Man Cave's here. All of a sudden,
that's how he gets summoned.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Fuck.
You gotta pull out a golden age.
Yeah,
if I put this up 3 times, he just appears in the chat.
Appears. You show a Golden Age book 3 times, and fucking Man Cave's up.
Yep. Same thing with the Conan book. If I do it 3 times, Varangian Vigilante shows up. Yeah.
Dude,
same concept.
A Vampirella, it's Jeff. You show a Vampirella, Jeff shows up. Dude.
Oh man, I'd love to get some Warren Vampies, but I can never find those for a good price. Everyone's on to those ones.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Jeff was on that early. What's up, Man Cave, man? Good to have you here. You probably
who is it? Mike from the Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. He has some really nice high grade Warren magazines. Creepy, Eerie, Vampirella. Was it Tales of the Zombie? Really nice ones that I think he probably jumped on early.
House Till the End knew it. Chips, yeah. Pancharello.
Yeah.
Pancharello reference.
Yeah.
What's up,
Punch
man?
was great.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Dude, I can see that your collecting has really changed. And you can see it evolves. It always does. I know mine has. It changes from year to year pretty much.
Right.
I know Javi's does.
Yeah, man, my collecting is always changing. But I do like new books. I do pick up some new books.
I do as well, man. I think I picked up like 10 books today.
Yeah, I actually picked up back to what you were saying earlier, CMM. Indies. The indies are killing it right now. I'm really big into the indies.
I love indies, man. It's the main thing I read as well. I freaking love them.
One of my favorite books of all time is Fear Agent. I know one really has talked about that. But Fear Agent by Rick Remender. I used to read a lot of indies. So one of the comic book shops by the house, they would have a Black Friday sale where they would do any new comic book. So over the last several months prior to whenever they had the sale was $1. So I was like, all right, I'll go do that. And so I get there and I'm like, with superheroes, I feel that I need to invest into so much of the back history to get the proper context from that point going forward that I gravitated toward the indies because chances are it was a #1 issue and I could jump on right there. And usually they were a finite number of issues, or at least they weren't an indefinite number of issues like the superhero titles. So I could finish it and move on to a different one. So I would usually pick up indies #1, maybe #1 and 2 if he had them. And if I really enjoyed it, then I'd get the trade and kind of move forward from there. Yeah. So I used to read a lot of indies or Vertigo. But that was kind of along the same lines back then. Even though DC owned it, it was almost like an indie type line. But Image, Dark Horse, Boom, all of them, I would usually stick to indies just because of that reason. And Fear Agent was an incredible one. Same with Criminal Macabre. That's when I first started reading Steve Niles, and he's the one that did 30 Days of Night, and he's done a lot of other stuff since. But I just thought it was awesome. So yeah, there are a lot of good indies out, and I'm sure there are now. There are a lot of good indies out there. I think I got the last trades ever, because I really don't get trades anymore. But someone wanted to trade with me that had been in that trade paperback group from years before, and he'd reach out to me like once a year, and I'm like, man, I can't keep putting this dude. I was a good dude, you know. And so I said, yeah, you know, I don't really do trades anymore, but I'll trade with you. Just because I did so many times in the past, and you're a good dude. What's that one called? Gosh, it's a new horror book that I got a trade on that and read it. It was pretty good.
Which one?
I'm trying to remember.
What's it about?
I can see the cover. Looks like someone's face, but it's a bird's eye view of the map of this island.
Gideon Falls.
There you go, Gideon Falls. That's the one. Yeah. So like that was pretty good.
It was good. It's still good. I think it's ending in like 2 or 3 issues.
Yeah, I stopped after that first trade just because.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't get any new comic books anymore unless I can get them on the cheap. And I just did that one trade for trade paperbacks with that guy just because he was a cool dude.
That's Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, he was good. Sweet Tooth, I think, is where he broke in, which was really good. Yeah, but he's done what, like Low, I think isn't that one?
That's Rick Remender.
Oh, is it Rick Remender? No, then he's done like about divers or something, right?
He did The Sender. I know he did The Sender.
The Sender, maybe that's
it. He's doing A Sender, and yeah, he also did one. He's really good. He's done a ton of stuff. He's excellent. I was reading Falls, and I got up to like number 20, and I felt it was getting repetitive, and it wasn't getting anywhere. And now now it's ending like in 2 more issues. So it's like I should have just kept on.
Right.
Read it some other way to finish it up, but I stopped. Biggie has a question real quick. Let me see. Ask Mags about buying a lot and giving it as a price to the chat. I'd like to hear some. I don't know about that. Is that something you got going on your channel or something?
No. So I think he's talking about like during auctions on 84's channel.
Okay.
So.
Oh, you did you do
right? Yeah. So I've never actually kept something from an auction, and theoretically, I never wanted anything. I never wanted an AOK or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of go through this whole experience and not be a taker kind of thing, you know. But Kenny was kind enough to send me an OK. Also, I recently got an AOK from the Jackson Roy Kirk. If you guys aren't familiar with his channel, he's one of the most knowledgeable dudes in comic books who has a channel that doesn't have shit to do with comic books. but he's in all the chats.
I don't know if he's still in here.
I don't know if he still is.
Yeah.
He's kind of soft, so he's probably gone to bed already.
Okay.
But he was in here earlier, I think. But yeah, he's just super knowledgeable when it comes to. I would put him up against probably just about anybody in the community.
Yeah.
He just doesn't go on live streams and things like that, so you really wouldn't know. Yeah, there he is. Yep, see?
He's still in here.
Yep, he's warming his milk. It's gonna be night time pretty soon.
Dude, you actually bought something from me, and somebody won it in Kenny's auction, and then I forget who won. Oh my god, I forgot who won it, but yeah, I sent it out to them.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, Jackson, thank you for that AOK. It was really cool. It's a recording of one of the albums of Conan audio. So super awesome, really cool guy. But yeah, so that was my thing, right? I just enjoy the auctions. I just think Kenny's funny. He brings on people like you, like Paul first edition, like Biggie, Jimmy, the geek aficionado.
Yeah.
Just really cool people. I like the banter. It's just fun, right? Because I'm a high grade collector. I'm very specific in what I'm collecting, right? If either I want something super cheap, like if you've got some dollar Savage Sword of Conan's, I'm probably your man. Or it's going to be the other spectrum. I want 9.2 or higher and very specific to the titles I collect, right? It's these titles and that's about it. Otherwise, I'll pick things up specifically to sell later on. And I can sit on them for years. And it doesn't matter to me, right? But if I see something that's a value, I'll pick it up, especially when it comes to graded. I've been following those for like 20 years.
Wow.
I've seen thousands and thousands of auctions between Heritage and Comic Link and Pedigree and Comic Connect and My Comic Shop that I can tell right away that book and that grade is undervalued. Right. And so I'll pick it up and then sell it a couple of years later on down the line at a fully realized value. And so that's kind of like my big, I've never in my life sold a raw comic, but I've sold hundreds of graded comics.
Nice.
So for that reason, I'm not really in the auctions to pick something up for myself, but I enjoy the auctions. I want to help out the people that are putting on the auctions like 84, and I want to reward people for staying in the auctions that kind of helps him out and kind of share with the community, right? I'm not a man cave, but I'm doing okay with where I'm at in life, but I've struggled mightily. And so there are some people in our community that are going through those struggles, and they may not have some discretionary money here or there to be able to buy something that they'd like. So it gives me an opportunity to kind of try to pay things forward.
That's awesome.
I mean, I've been to the point to where, here's a really good one for you, and I'll leave it on this one. This was back in Texas when I was going through a broken relationship, and I had a friend in the Guard, the National Guard, who was friends with someone, and this friend in the Guard was separated from his wife. So we moved in with this guy. He's like, hey, you can move in with us. I'm like, okay, cool. So I did. And then immediately my friend moves away, moves back in with his wife. So I'm with this dude I've never met. And we're just kind of hanging out. And I worked at a grocery store. There's a grocery store called HEB. It's like a Texas homegrown grocer, kind of like Bash's is for Arizona, and I'm sure other states have their own that aren't like a Fry's or Kroger. But the founder is Howard Edward Butt, so he went with HEB. He was a smart guy that way, instead of Butt's Grocery or something like that. I would borrow from the cashier against my check because that's how little money I had. I had a tire coming off, part of the tire peeled away. And all I could do was just cut it away in the steel belts. And so half the tire, half the outer part was gone because I had no money to get a new tire, right? It was tough. And this was what's really off. So I don't know this dude. And I had no money, so I would buy tortillas and I would fry them up in oil. And that's what I would eat, right? And so I must have gotten distracted. And when I went back into the kitchen, there was a fire going up from that oil and that tortilla. And that was cabinets. I'm like, oh, crap. I got to do something here. And I should have, if I'd known what his kitchen was like, where his flour was at or something like that. So I picked up the pan and I put it down on the floor. And it starts melting through the floor. I'm like, oh, crap, I can't do that. And so I took it and put it in the sink, turned on the water, which isn't good, but did what I did, and it got me a nice little burn on the hand. But I'm like, hey, dude, so something happened in your house. I can replace that. You know, it's just going to take me a little while. But the linoleum was like melted through the shower of his kitchen.
I knew you were going to say linoleum. I just knew you were going to say.
Yeah. I didn't even know the dude barely. He basically said, "That's your house, or that's your room right there." And it was like a little girl's room and had like a border around from when I guess his family was in there with him, like a Minnie Mouse border around. And that was my bedroom. And so, and then like 3 weeks later, something happened to his dad. And he said, "Hey, I'm leaving the house. Bank can have it. You got a week left on electricity. I'm going to go back and help my dad." So I'm like, "Oh, wow, crap, what am I going to do?" so I had a week left there by myself to try to figure out how I was not going to be homeless. So those were good times, but I managed to kind of get out of it. But so anyways, I've been through the struggles, and unfortunately, I think we still have people in our community who are experiencing similar challenges from time to time. And so if there's a way that I could kind of pay it forward and help out the people holding the auction, then I think that's fine by me. I'm happy to do it.
Dude, Bill, that's awesome, dude.
Awesome.
I'm glad to see where you're at in life, because some people, they don't, you know, some people just don't have the means or the know-how to move, you know, past that, and it kind of defines their lives, man. So I'm really happy that you're there. Dude, we've been going almost 2 hours. It goes by really fast, don't it?
It does, absolutely. Especially when you're talking about such a worthy topic like me.
Dude, you've been a trip. You know what I want to ask? What is up? No problem, Alex, man. Our guest from last week, man. Thanks for.
That was a great show.
Dude, I want to see you in more live chats, man. You need to do more live chats on other channels, man. See you around, because your knowledge, your fucking wit is up there, dude. At least for me. Some people might not get it, but I fucking love it, dude. It's right in my ballpark, man. I love it. But I just want to thank you for coming on. This has been a really good time. It always is. It always is for me.
Well, I thank you both for having me. Like I said before, and I meant it. It's a pleasure and an honor. I'm very humble. So thank you.
Thank you for coming on, man. I mean it. Do you got anything going on with your channel?
No, just the typical Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this Saturday, again, we're doing the. I'll be on the Gray Man's channel, where we're doing the cover competition. Matilda Gothica is the judge. I think she's in Gray Man's pocket. That's neither here nor there. I do my best. Against all odds, I suspect I'll come out victorious, but we have fun. We talk trash about one another's comic books and proceed to show them and have Matilda give her crooked grades. So I'll be doing that. And maybe Sunday, but probably the following Sunday, I might get together with some members of the Kentucky crew for a chat that evening.
Very nice, dude. You know what? Real quick before we go, and Javi, I will let you. You were talking about Kenny earlier. Kenny is freaking awesome, dude.
Yes.
Him on that new Sunday show. I don't know how he does it, but he's so fucking entertaining. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Super fucking entertaining all by himself, dude. I don't know how he does it. But Javi, what you got going
on? Hopefully Silver Age Sunday this Sunday. If not, then it'll be either on Jeff Comic 813's channel, or it's been usually on Boatwright's channel, so keep an eye out on those two channels as well. And then next Thursday we have the Start Me Up show, October 22nd.
Who's picking? Nice. Who's picking the years? Is it you?
Oh man, I think. No, it's Goat. It's Goat.
It's Goat's picking? Okay.
Goat is picking the years this time.
Yeah, he hasn't let us know yet what's going on. We don't know what freaking it's Kamagori's like. Hey, and by the way, yeah, you haven't been on,
I'm sorry, bro.
but that's okay. That's okay, man. Boat's been doing a good job, man. They've been doing a good job. I haven't been on as well. I've been watching.
I have been figuring out real life stuff, so
Dude,
I need
it's all good.
to buckle down and figure out some real life grown up things to do.
Dude, it's all good, man. I'm just glad you're here to this week. You were missed last week. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Real quick on my channel, I might do a CGC unboxing because I should be getting something soon. I can't wait. Oh, I got Kamagories on Monday. I'm going up against on the Boy Who Had Seven's channel. I'm going up against Geek Aficionado.
Yeah.
We're going for 7 rounds.
Oh wow! What the heck?
Wow.
I feel like I'm the underdog because he's got a freaking crazy collection. So I'm going through my. I'm gonna be starting tomorrow, going through my collection and hopefully get it in order. But I am super excited and super freaking nervous, and I'll probably be a fucking wreck on Monday. Getting ready for that.
Oh, it's gonna be fun though.
Yeah, I believe we're gonna have. I also have the Johnson show on Monday before Kamagories on my channel with Steve, and I believe we're gonna have Simply Incredible podcast. Hopefully, I got it out. Don't know what the topic is, but we'll figure something out. But
and that's sports related, right?
That's sports, music,
not penis related.
Not penis.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah, it's not
for all those out there.
It's not penis, but we do chips. You know, Poncherello John thing on that show. But so I didn't know what that was. Man, thank you everyone for stopping by. The link for Comic Mags for Conquistadorks is in the description. Please sub them up. And all I got to say is Rouse!